So it's been a really long time since I've made a video for YouTube. In fact, I really couldn't remember when the last one was made, so I had to go back and actually look at it. And it turns out it's been like 14 months. The last one was June of 2023. I really haven't been super present on Instagram either. It's crazy because all that time went by so quickly. I haven't just walked away from trading. I was here pretty much every day. It's just gotten to be a crazy life-work balance. So the purpose of this video is just to kind of catch you up on what I've been doing. First of all, last June or July, I got into the free chat with Roland Wolf. Roland and I kind of started at a similar point in time. It feels good to find people that actually are very similar to you that are doing this thing. I resonated with him, who is a family man, has 4 kids, is a year younger than me. I have people in my life that I care for, and so it always felt like it would be 10 times harder for me to actually accomplish this thing, and it was very nice to see that someone who had a similar situation to mine actually made it. In August, I moved into his main chat room because they did a promotion which allowed you to have a month free. I thought the environment was great for community in a way that I've never seen any other chat room be. I've been in Tim Sykes, I've been in Ross Cameron's. So by October, my husband and I had decided that we wanted to be lifetime members of his. I was able to go to my first boot camp in October just after I signed up. Drove down to Vegas, met a whole bunch of cool people, and in fact, I met my very first trading buddy, and she lives in Canada actually. This year, one of the big things that I encouraged myself to do was make relationships within the trading realm, and I forced myself to be more accountable by communicating regularly. My friend and I set up every Wednesday night. We would go over all of our trades from the last week, and it's been so awesome to have that back and forth and like say out loud what it is we are struggling with or what it is we are finally understanding, and really reinforce that in our minds. Helping another person through their difficulty can sometimes help you through your own. After I joined Roland's Lifetime, I spent well over a month like really diving into all the videos and his guide. I think it could have been shorter had I not had so much going on with my family. The wild thing is that even just joining the main chat room instantly changed the way that I looked at trading in some really basic ways, and it instantly improved. And I actually felt for the first time that I had the ability to find an edge. That has never happened to me before in the more than 7 years that I've been studying and trading. And that is so crazy to think about, because as much as I know about the markets and as much as I know about trading in general, I never felt like I could really sit and explain to you what it was I was looking for exactly to make a trade. It kind of was like an individual stock basis. I didn't really understand how to create a play that was bread and butter, that repeated, that was predictable, because I couldn't seem to nail down all of the parts that I needed to see. So now I'm on the path of actually creating those for myself. I have gotten so much closer to that reality. In December, I started my New Year's resolution challenge a bit early. After all, there's no sense in waiting. You can get a head start on becoming better. What it was a level up challenge, and I wanted to take each week of the year and try to do something that made me as a person level up. At that point, I was feeling really optimistic about 2024. I really wanted to make it my year. My optimism was really fueled by going into Roland's room and seeing the most positive shift I've ever seen for my career. I started posting that on Instagram, and I did that for a little while, probably maybe 2 months, and then I kind of started to fall off. I actually read 4 books in the last year, and that in and of itself is impressive to me because I feel like I never have time to read. I read Trading in the Zone, Contrary Investing, the complete penny stocking course, course, and I also read a book called Stop Doing That Shit. I learned some things, but nothing like over the top astounding. If anything, Stop Doing That Shit encouraged me to take a look at the reasons I was holding myself back with self-limiting beliefs, my views of people and of time and of life in general, and how they affect the way I can handle each and every day. I made a habit in myself each and every week to do the hard things that would make my life better, and I'm sure I will continue into the end of the year. So even though it wasn't exactly the planned or hoped for media presence, I did still manage to improve myself pretty substantially this year. The end of January, I went to a trader retreat here in Utah with Roland's group, and it was awesome. I had so much fun, and it was really meant to not be so much about learning anything. It was more about just networking and relaxing and having a good time, and it was precisely what I needed in that moment. And it's just really nice to have some friends. So after the retreat in the end of January, early February, I went home and I just kind of hit burnout. It's weird because I went on the retreat and I looked around and all these people, they had very specific things that they could rattle off that they liked about a stock or they wanted to see in something they played. And it was interesting to recognize that my issue has been that I don't retain information perfectly. I learn something, and then over time it kind of gets all fuzzy, and I know what I'm looking for on some level. I couldn't explain it to you exactly. So that was the moment that I felt I needed more precision. And to be totally honest, after 7 years, feeling like what I knew wasn't precise enough for me to be successful actually sent me into a bit of a black hole in my mind. I started to fall apart because I was looking at my career and going, oh my gosh, it's been 7 years of doing all of this and I am not there yet. When I started, I thought in 2 years I'll be a profitable trader. I'll be able to figure this out. 2 years went by, and another 2 years, and another 2 years, and all of those years didn't bring me profitability. And recognizing that was so devastating because I was watching other people around me join the chat room and get it in a couple months and start making hundreds, thousands, and it didn't seem fair that I couldn't do that because I have way more experience in the trading industry than they do. So comparison is the thief of joy. I definitely felt that comparison start to rob me of the sense of accomplishment at getting up every day and trying to be the best trader I could be. And I just didn't want to keep going. I wanted to just be done. During that time, my husband actually was feeling the same way. So maybe that encouraged the difficulty I was feeling. I just wanted to sleep all the time. I just didn't want to do literally anything. So all of February, I decided to take off from trading because that was really the only thing I could not do and get away with. Sadly, at the retreat, I had taken a look at HOLO, H-O-L-O, the stock, and I had said to myself and to the person sitting next to me that I could feel that this stock was going to do something special. And it proceeded to go to $100 from like $1. And that was a play that I actually knew pretty darn well by then. So I was really sad that my timing was so poor. It could have been a career changer. Instead, I just took a break. I have actually really bad timing for taking my breaks in trading. Historically, I tend to take the time off that is the hottest, and I just got to deal with that reality. I knew that trading wasn't the only thing that was causing me to break down and need this time away. I had kids in fencing and karate and in stage crew, and I was trying to manage all of that and their social lives and school and chores all the time. One of the nice things about being part of that chat room is that when you're going through something, you can voice it and other people will kind of help you through it. It was the same period of time that Roland was actually having a bunch of difficulty emotionally family, and it helped me to know that I wasn't the only one in the muck and I wasn't the only one not performing at my best. And I was able to recognize that it was really okay to feel this way. You have to deal with whatever is in front of you. So I decided to give myself the grace and allow everything that I was trying to do the time that it needed to get done. I had been putting in so many hours in front of the screen to learn this new dynamic of trading. My days went from about 2 hours of trading to about 6 to 8. And that was just a lot to absorb into the life that I have. But I made the sacrifice in other areas to make that happen for myself. So I decided that I was going to start doing a few things to bring joy back to my life again. I finally joined a gym, which was more about a coach-led class that would push me rather than lean on myself. And it's been really great for feeling like I'm strong again. I took a community ceramics class to push myself to get back into the art realm. I haven't been able to do that since college, basically, and I just really want to implement that in my life more. I planned, built, and planted a garden in my backyard, and it actually turned out so good, and I had so much food coming out of that garden. Because I was in front of the screen for so long every day, I really didn't even spend time outside anymore, so it was so needed for me to create a hobby that got me out there. My husband and I went on our anniversary trip to Creede, Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful place for spending a week, and that was really a needed getaway. And through all this, I started to feel just a little bit more balanced. But additionally, during that time, my husband decided to quit trading, and that was due to the fact that he had come to a personal realization that it just wasn't really good for his personality. It was really difficult for him to decide to do, and it was difficult to watch him do, and it was difficult in my emotions where I was sitting at the time feeling so defeated by the 7 years of trading that I had put in. Also in that time, to add insult to injury, Thinkorswim transferred to Schwab. I also was losing money to the fact that they don't execute orders until after 5 a.m. my time, and so I was missing about an hour of trading potential and losing out on a lot of gains from my swings. So I was told by everybody that I should try out Webull, and so I went to Webull, which took a lot of time for me because I am a very not tech savvy person. When I got over there, I didn't like the setup. It was weird. I couldn't get it to do things that were similar to Thinkorswim. Also, they have minimum share size requirements for stocks under 10 cents and under $1. That's not conducive to my risk tactics, and so I had to go back to Thinkorswim, and at that point, my Thinkorswim deleted my old layout, so then I had to figure out how to get it back. The problem with that was it was years of tweaking my platform to be just right. Additionally, I had bought TraderSync, and I was using that to upload my trades and try to analyze them that way. And when Thinkorswim switched to Schwab, the way to upload changed, and so I wasn't able to do that during that month either. And so I was having all of these tech issues. That is like a huge Achilles heel for me. I cannot handle the stress around tech not working the way that I need it to. Just like a month of tumult around my trading platforms, and it was so frustrating. I took about 2 weeks to create physical binders of my playbooks, which I was learning about through another teacher in Roland's chat room. The concept didn't really make a whole lot of sense in like the way he explained it to me, and so I also struggled really hard creating that for myself. So I decided to make physical books of things that I knew were important to me in those plays, and it turns out that I don't even look at them, not at all, since I made them. But it's funny how sometimes when you create something, it like finalizes it in your mind. I had my first one-on-ones with Roland and with this teacher, and I actually struggled to come up with what to say to them. I was also on Trader Therapy, and though the audio didn't get recorded, so there is no a record of that, but I just struggled putting into words to them what I needed. So I got advice that seemed almost too simple. So it was very difficult for me to try to figure out what he was trying to tell me. And so that's what I actually got up in Trader Therapy and asked him about. That's actually what Roland told me, is that I am looking for something too specific. I don't know how to reconcile that because I do need real answers for things. And he told me it's really that I'm focusing too far down on one specific thing and feeling like that's going to be the thing that helps me become profitable. I can see how he would think that. There's a little bit of that maybe, but I also couldn't know for sure which thing I learn that will be the aha moment, that will be the thing that does help me figure those things out. So I both agreed and also kind of disagreed, and have been doing my best to try to figure out where the holes are in my process to fill them. In September, I had the single largest win of my career. In the past, I've hit a few and I've made some decent money, but I feel like it was more luck at that point in time that the market was running than me looking for and pinpointing precisely what I needed to find. So now I'm coming up on about a year since I joined the chat rooms with Roland. I can definitely say in the last year I've made the most improvement and the most strides towards success that I ever have in my entire career. I hit an aha moment actually very recently. It was about 2 weeks where I saw one of my plays in play for real, and that was such a game changer. It was such a game changer, in fact, that I have decided that I'm not going to quit at the end of the year if I'm not profitable like I told my husband I might. And that's because I finally see what it is to actually recognize your potential. So now I know what to look for, and it's just going to take time because I can't force the market to be in play before the end of the year to make me profitable. I just need to get as prepared as possible for the next time when the things that I play are really working, and that's going to be the moment I make the decision. Now I know basically that I'm not wasting my precious time, and I'm not just saying that because I'm like, oh, I had a couple green days. No, it's the process that I'm seeing clearly. So when I started, like I said, I gave myself 2 years to get this down, and I said that out loud a whole lot. But the funny thing is, in my heart of hearts, I actually kept saying to myself, I'm going to get this before I'm 40. And next August is my 40th birthday. I want to see if in the next year I can make all the efforts I put in, make that little voice true. So stay tuned for that journey and for more help with yours.